Imagine, that girl, his student, came to our house. Hajara, she insulted me. She said she would marry my husband. My husband pushed me because of her.
But you refused to listen. My husband does not even think about other women because I handled it my own way. If you want peace, we must visit the chief doctor tomorrow.
I'm ready to do anything for my husband to be mine alone.
The next day, Malika and Hajara went to the outskirts of town. They entered a small hut filled with herbs, bottles, and strange carvings. The air smelled of incense. A tall, dark man wearing red beads stepped out. "Welcome," he said in a deep voice. "What do you want me to do for you?" Malika knelt down. "Please, sir, my husband is a teacher. One of his students has fallen in love with him. I don't want him to look at any other woman in this world, even his cousin, even his sister. I don't want him to feel anything for them. I want him to see all women as demons, as ugly creatures. I want to be the only woman he admires. I want him to be obsessed with me. Please help me." The doctor nodded slowly. "It can be done, but I need something personal from him. His hair, his fingernail, anything from his body." "I will bring it," Malika promised. The next day, she snipped a few strands from Zaid's comb and brought them back. The doctor gave her a small packet of powder. "Cook his favorite food," the doctor instructed. "Mix this inside. After he eats, his eyes will change." That night, Malika prepared Zaid's favorite meal. She apologized for embarrassing him. She smiled sweetly, served him food, and watched him eat. Zaid ate quietly, tired from the drama. "It's okay," he said when she apologized. "Let's forget it." Inside, Malika's heart danced. She picked up her phone and called Hajara. "It has been done," she whispered. "I have nixed it. I have done it." Her sister laughed on the other end. "Good. Just wait and see. You will never have to deal with any side chick again." Malika smiled faintly, but her eyes were dark. She believed she had won. She did not know she had just opened the door to something she could never control. One Saturday afternoon, Malika's friend Mina came over to visit. They sat in the living room, gossiping and laughing. Malika was in a good mood, enjoying the gist about neighbors, weddings, and market prices. Suddenly, the door opened. Zaid walked in, tired from work. "Welcome home," Mina said politely, smiling as she adjusted her scarf. "Thank you," Zaid replied warmly. "How are you, Mina?" Before he could sit down, Malika jumped up, rushed to the kitchen, and brought out his food. She placed it on the table, her eyes sharp as a knife. When she returned, she saw something that made her blood boil. Zaid and Mina were chatting. Nothing romantic, nothing secret, just two former classmates catching up about old school memories. But to Malika, it looked like betrayal. She slammed the tray of food harder than necessary. "Zaid, your food is ready," she said coldly. Then she turned to her friend. "Mina, I don't understand though. Did you come to visit me or my husband?" The room fell silent. Mina looked shocked. "Malika, what are you saying? We were just talking." "Talking? See how you were shining your teeth, grinning at the goats. That is very irresponsible of you as my friend. When you saw my husband, you should have excused yourself, not sit down and gist with him." Her face hardened. "So your jealousy has reached me now? Don't forget he is my classmate. I knew him before you ever met him. Does that mean I cannot greet him?" "It doesn't matter," Malika shouted. "From today, don't come to my house while my husband is around. If you want to visit me, come when he is not home. I cannot allow this nonsense." Mina's lips trembled with anger, but she controlled herself. She quietly sipped water, then stood up. At that moment, heavy rain began to pour outside. The compound grew dark. Mina sighed. "It's raining heavily, Malika. I think I should go before it gets late." Zaid frowned. "Why now? How will you go in this kind of rain? At least wait, or let me drive you home." Before Mina could answer, Malika screamed. "Never, over my dead body. I will never allow that. How can I permit my husband to carry another woman in his car? Is that how foolish I am? Mina, sorry, you will manage. Let me bring umbrella." Mina forced a smile, shaking her head. "Don't bother." She picked up her bag. "I will be fine." Without umbrella, she stepped out into the storm. Cold water soaked her instantly. As she walked away, she wept silently, not just from the rain, but from disappointment. In her heart, she swore never to visit Malika again. Zaid closed the door angrily and turned to his wife. Why? Why are you like this? Why am I like this? Why are you sad, Zaid? Or is it because she left in the rain? Maybe you love her. I saw the way you were gisting and smiling with her. When last did you laugh with me like that? Men are so wicked. Zaid stared at her for a long moment, then hissed. Without another word, he walked into the bedroom, leaving Malika standing alone in the living room. That night after dinner, Malika sat watching Zaid carefully, waiting for any sign. The food was gone, the charm was inside him, but she didn't know when it would start working. She was nervous, her hands sweating as she cleared the plates. Then suddenly, Zaid looked at her. His eyes softened and a strange smile spread across his face. "Malika," he said slowly, almost dreamily, "you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life." Malika blinked. "Eh?" "I don't know why," Zaid continued, his voice shaking with emotion. "But other women, they look like ugly ducklings in my eyes now. Their faces irritate me. But you are like a queen, my treasure. I am glad you are my wife." Malika's heart leapt. She pressed a hand to her chest. "Ah, Zaid, say it again." "Yes, my beautiful queen," he said, standing up and holding her hand. "You are the only woman in this world, the only one who matters. You don't know what God has given me by making you my wife." Malika threw her head back and laughed. Zaid, you don't know. You are only now realizing what you have. I have been telling you since. I am very beautiful, oh. You don't know the treasure in your house." Zaid kissed her forehead and whispered, "Yes, my beautiful queen." They laughed together, and for the first time in a long while, their home felt full of joy. Later that night, Malika rushed to her phone and dialed her sister. Hajara, thank you so much. God bless you. You need to see the way Zaid loves me now. He calls me queen, he buys me things. I have never enjoyed my marriage more than now." On the other side of the line, Hajara chuckled. "I told you, my sister. You see now, enjoy your marriage, enjoy your peace. You deserve it." Almost 2 weeks later, when the dust had settled, Malika was sitting in the living room, polishing her nails, when the door creaked open. She looked up and saw Maria standing at the door. Maria's face was pale, her eyes tired. She clutched her books to her chest. "Good evening," Maria said softly. Malika dropped her nail file and folded her arms. Her voice dripped with sarcasm. "So, you're back again, eh? Okay, oh." Maria stepped inside. Before she could speak further, Zayed walked in from the bedroom, adjusting his shirt. Her eyes lit up instantly. "Good evening, sir," she said, her voice warm with respect. But to her surprise, Zayed's expression turned ice cold. "What is it? Why are you here again?" Maria froze. "Sir, you have not been coming for lessons. It's been almost 2 weeks. Your number is not going through. I have exams coming soon, JAM and WAEC. I only came to ask if everything is all right." Zayed's face twisted in irritation. This girl, what is it again, eh? "Yes, I saw your calls. I rejected them. You keep disturbing me. Did I not say I don't want to teach you again? Is it by force? Leave me alone." Maria's lips trembled. "But sir..." "Shut up," Zayed barked, pointing at Malika. "Look at my beautiful wife. Look at her. Are you even close to her beauty? What do you have? Do you know you are ugly? So ugly? Please, leave us in peace and never contact me again." The words hit her like stones. Her face crumpled and she burst into tears right there in the living room. Without another word, she turned and ran out of the house, her sobs echoing down the street. Inside, Malika's lips curled into a wicked smile and she clapped her hands together, laughing loudly. Serves her right. Zayed, my husband, this is what I like to hear. Now you know your wife is the only queen." Zayed nodded obediently. "Yes, my queen, only you." Malika leaned back, satisfied. For the first time, she felt like she had finally defeated all the side chicks that haunted her marriage. She believed she had won the battle. But she had no idea the war was only just beginning. One hot afternoon, Malika's father showed up at her house without notice. He didn't even call. He just parked his old car right in the middle of the compound, stepped out proudly, and knocked on the door. When Malika opened it, her eyes widened. "Papa! Ah, you didn't even tell me you were coming," she said with a bright smile, hugging him tightly. Her father chuckled. "My daughter, I missed you. I just decided to surprise you today. How are you? How is your husband?" "He's fine, Papa. He should be home any minute now," she replied happily as she brought him water and food. The two sat in the living room, laughing and catching up. It felt so peaceful until Zaid came home. Zaid parked outside and noticed an unfamiliar car. His heartbeat changed immediately. "Whose car is this?" he muttered. His mind began racing. "Don't tell me Malika brought a man home." He crept closer to the window and heard a man laughing inside, a deep male laugh. His face darkened, his blood boiled. Without thinking twice, he rushed inside the house, threw off his shoes, removed his shirt, and grabbed his cutlass from the corner. "Today I will catch her red-handed," he shouted, storming towards the sitting room like a wild lion. Malika screamed, "Zaid, stop! What are you doing?" Her father jumped up, terrified. "Zaid, my son, what is this nonsense?" The moment Zaid saw his father-in-law, his whole body froze. He dropped the cutlass and quickly knelt down. "Ah, Baba, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't know it was you. I thought..." "You thought what? That your wife was cheating with her own father? Have you lost your mind?" His head bowed. "I'm sorry, sir." He shook his head in disappointment. "You need to control your anger, young man. Marriage is not a prison. Be careful before you destroy your home." Then he left, still shaking his head. Malika was deeply hurt. "Zaid, you've gone too far this time. You are becoming obsessed. This is not love anymore. It's madness." But Zaid just sat quietly, saying nothing. Weeks later, Malika fell sick. She begged, "Zaid, please let me go to the hospital. I don't feel well." He frowned. "You're not going anywhere alone. I'll take you myself." She sighed and agreed. At the hospital, the doctor smiled politely. "Madam, please, we'll do a quick scan to check your womb. Just follow me to the scan room." Zaid immediately jumped up. "What did you just say? You want to take my wife inside for a scan? Are you crazy?" The doctor looked confused. "Sir, it's just an ultrasound, nothing more." Zaid pointed angrily. "No way! Don't you people have female doctors here? I can't allow another man to see my wife's body. Never!" "Sir, please calm down. Calm down for what? God will punish you. You are mad." Malika stood up quietly, embarrassed and close to tears. "Zaid, please. Let's go home," he snapped. "You take paracetamol. That's enough." The doctor just shook his head helplessly. As they left the hospital, Malika's heart broke. She stared out the window silently, tears in her eyes. She felt trapped, like a bird locked in a golden cage. Her life no longer felt like marriage. It felt like a prison she couldn't escape. The sun was beginning to set as Malika balanced a basket of tomatoes and vegetables on her head, returning from the market. She hummed softly, still glowing from the attention she had been receiving from her husband in recent weeks. "Malika! Malika Ibrahim!" She stopped in her tracks and turned. A tall man waved from across the road. She squinted, then gasped. "Usman?" she said, her voice filled with surprise. It had been years since their graduation. He had changed, looking older but still carrying the cheerful smile she remembered. They exchanged greetings warmly. "Ah, Malika, it's been so long," Usman said. "How are you doing?" "I'm fine, alhamdulillah," she replied with a smile. "Do you live around here now?" "Yes," she nodded proudly. "Here with my husband." "Wow, congratulations," he said. "I'm happy for you." "Thank you," she said shyly. "I am also getting married next month," Usman continued, pulling a small card from his pocket. "I would like to invite you. It would mean a lot to have my old classmates there." "Wow, that's wonderful," Malika said, genuinely happy for him. Congratulations. Inshallah, I will come to support you. He handed her the invitation card. She thanked him warmly before heading home, not knowing that a pair of angry eyes had been watching from a distance. That evening, when Zaid came home, the air was heavy. Malika sensed something was wrong but tried to ignore it. She placed his food on the table, but before she could say a word, he pulled off his belt with a sharp snap. Her heart froze. Zaid, my husband, what is it? She stammered. Without answering, he raised the belt and lashed it across her back. Malika screamed in shock, dropping the plate she was holding. Who is that man I saw you with? He roared. Tears sprang to her eyes. No, Zaid, please. He's my classmate, Usman. We just met by chance. He's getting married. He only invited me to his wedding. So you now cheat on me, eh? His eyes were wild with fury. No, wallahi, no, she cried, shielding herself with her hands. I swear we have nothing between us. So you now have male friends, right? Which responsible married woman keeps male friends? He shouted, his voice shaking the walls. She sobbed uncontrollably, trying to explain, but he didn't listen. He grabbed the invitation card from her trembling hands and looked at it. After a long silence, he dropped the belt and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. Malika collapsed on the floor, clutching her bruises. Her tears soaked her wrapper as she rocked back and forth. What have I done to myself? She whispered bitterly. I have made Zaid into a monster. Ya Allah, what have I done? Zaid could not sleep. No matter how much Malika tried to calm him, the image of Usman standing with her at the roadside burned inside his mind. Who was he? Why was he smiling at her like that? Night after night, Zaid lay awake, fists clenched. I will find out who he is, he muttered. And he did. He traced Usman's workplace, his home, his routines. Jealousy and rage clouded Zaid's heart until he was no longer himself. One evening, as Usman walked down a quiet, lonely road, a shadow stepped out from behind the trees. Zaid, what are you? Before he could finish, Zaid struck him in a fit of rage. Usman stumbled and fell. Silence followed. Zaid stepped back, chest heaving. His hands shook as the weight of what he had done hit him. The street was eerily quiet. Usman lay unmoving. Horror washed over Zaid. He realized that in his anger, he had crossed a line from which there was no return. Without another word, he fled into the night, haunted by his own actions. The next morning, Malika was sitting at home when her phone rang. It was her friend, Aisha. Malika, did you hear the news? What news? Malika asked casually. Usman, he was murdered yesterday on his way home from work. The plate in Malika's hand slipped and shattered on the floor. What? She screamed, tears rushing to her eyes. Usman? But I just saw him. He gave me his wedding invitation. Ya Allah, who could do such a wicked thing? I don't know, her friend replied, voice trembling. But I pray God exposes whoever did this. Amin, Malika whispered, crying bitterly. The next day, her sister Hajara came to visit. Malika welcomed her weakly, her face swollen from tears. My sister, you are enjoying marriage, oh, Hajara teased at first, trying to lighten the mood. But Malika shook her head. Sis, I'm tired. My husband is becoming a monster. I can't even make a phone call in peace. If a man calls me, even a relative, he beats me like an animal. He spies on me, follows me, locks me inside the house when he's going out. Sis, I don't know what to do. Hajara frowned. This is serious. We must go back to that witch doctor. Things are out of hand. They rushed to the man's house, but when they arrived, the neighbors shook their heads. The doctor died last week, one of them said. Malika's legs gave way. She burst into tears. Ya Allah, I am finished. What have I done to myself? Hajara tried to console her, but her own face was pale with fear. One evening, Malika's younger brother Salim came visiting after a long day at work. He was tired, and after a short chat, he asked, "Sis, can I use the room for a nap? I'm exhausted." "Of course, go ahead," Malika said. Salim lay down and immediately fell into deep sleep. Meanwhile, Malika sat in the living room watching TV before going to the bathroom to perform ablution. Not long after, Zaid returned. He dropped his bag and called out, "Malika!" From the bedroom, Salim had just woken up. He walked out to the sitting room. "She's in the bathroom," he said politely. Zaid froze. His eyes widened. His wife's brother inside his bedroom. "What were you doing in there?" Zaid asked coldly, his voice shaking with barely controlled anger. "I was just resting, brother. I was too tired and the couches in the sitting room are not comfortable," Salim explained calmly. Zaid said nothing, but his jaw tightened, his fists clenched. His eyes followed Salim like a predator. Malika came out, smiling. "Welcome, my husband." But Zaid's face was hard, his silence louder than words. Salim looked uneasy. "Sis, I'm going home now, but it seems your husband is not happy with me for sleeping in your room. Don't worry, I'll talk to him later," she replied calmly, calming him down. Malika forced a smile and saw him off, but her hands were shaking. She knew the storm that was coming. Zaid sat in the living room, his fists trembling. His mind was a storm. How can betrayal happen right under my roof? My own wife's brother lying in my bed? The thought drove him mad. Malika tried to ask him what was wrong, but he only snapped at her, "Leave me alone." Inside, Zaid had already made up his mind. That evening, Salim was walking back home from work. The air was calm, the street quiet, except for the distant barking of dogs. He never knew his brother-in-law was hiding in the shadows. As soon as Salim turned into the lonely corner, Zaid jumped out and grabbed him by the collar. "God has exposed you today." Zaid roared down the street. "So this is what you do inside my house when I'm not around?" Salim's eyes widened in shock. "Brother, what are you saying? I don't understand. What did I do wrong? I only came to your house that day because I was tired from work. I just wanted to rest. Please, believe me." "Shut up," Zaid snarled. His eyes were wild, his veins popping. "Liar! I saw you myself. You think I'm a fool? You think you can disgrace me in my own house?" In a surge of uncontrollable rage, Zaid struck. Salim stumbled, fell to the ground, and stayed there, unmoving. Zaid stepped back, his breath heavy. He looked at the lifeless body on the ground and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Then in his madness, he reached into Salim's pocket and took his phone. Without looking back, he disappeared into the darkness. By morning, the terrible news spread like wildfire. A young man, Salim Ibrahim, murdered on his way home. The police were already investigating. When Malika heard, she collapsed to the floor screaming, "Ya Allah, my brother, who could do this to him?" Her parents rushed to her house, their faces wet with tears. My son is gone," her mother wailed. Her father's voice shook as he held the police officer's hand. "Please, whoever killed my son, find him. Make sure he pays. Please give us justice." The officer nodded firmly. "We will do everything we can, sir. Justice must be served." Meanwhile, Zaid sat at home, pretending to be calm, but inside, his heart raced every time he heard the siren of a police van. He thought he had covered his tracks, but in his carelessness, he forgot something. Salim's phone was still on. Malika was in the sitting room when she saw the phone on the table. Her eyes widened. This is Salim's phone. What is my brother's phone doing here?" Her mind raced. A dark thought crept into her heart, but she pushed it away. No, it can't be Zaid. No, never. Then came the loud knock. Bang, bang, bang. "Police, open the door." Malika froze. Her whole body shook as officers stormed into the compound. "There he is," one shouted. Before Zaid could escape, they grabbed him, twisting his arms behind his back. "You are under arrest for the murder of Salim Ibrahim," the officer barked. Zaid struggled, his face twisted with fury. "No, leave me. He was a liar. He wanted to destroy my marriage. I had to stop him." Malika's scream pierced the air. "Zaid, what have you done?" Her world collapsed. As the police dragged Zaid away in handcuffs, Malika fell to the floor, fainting. Her parents wept uncontrollably. "We have lost everything," her father whispered. "Our son is gone. Our daughter's marriage is destroyed, and her husband is a murderer." Few days later, the house was silent. Only the sound of soft crying could be heard as everyone sat around mourning Salim's death. The air was heavy. Even the clock on the wall ticked slowly, like it was afraid to disturb the grief in the room. Malika sat on the floor beside her mother, her face pale and swollen from crying. Her father sat quietly, hands on his head. Hajara was sitting opposite, also weeping softly. After a long silence, Malika suddenly raised her head. Her eyes were red, but filled with a strange kind of determination. "Mama, Baba, I have a confession to make." Hajara immediately looked up in shock. "Which confession again, Malika?" she snapped. "Can't you see we are mourning? Keep your mouth shut, please." But Malika shook her head stubbornly. "No, I won't keep quiet today. Enough is enough. You, Hajara, you are the reason I lost everything. You ruined my life, and today I will expose everything." Malika, she jumped to her feet, her hands shaking. "Baba, it's nothing. She's just—" "Let her talk," Baba said quietly, his eyes narrowing. "What is she hiding, Hajara? Let her speak." Hajara's face turned pale. Her lips trembled. "Baba, it's nothing. She's—" "Malika, Mama, Baba, forgive me," Malika cried, falling to her knees. "Please forgive me. I am the cause of my brother's death. It was me." Everyone froze. Their mother gasped. "What did you just say?" Baba's eyes widened in shock. "Malika, what do you mean?" Tears poured down Malika's cheeks as she spoke quickly, her words tumbling out like she had held them in for years.
"It all started because of jealousy," she said. "Hajara took me to a native doctor. Yes, she did. She told me it was the only way to make my husband love me more, to stop him from talking to other women. The native doctor gave me a small powder, a charm. Hajara said I should put it in Said's food." Her mother's hand flew to her mouth in horror. "Ya Allah!" Malika nodded, crying harder. "I was foolish. I did it. From that day, everything changed. Said became over-possessive. He didn't want me to talk to anyone, not even my cousins or classmates. If he saw me with a man, he would beat me. He became violent. He was no longer himself." She turned to her parents, voice breaking. "I destroyed him. I made him a monster without knowing. Zaid was innocent. But because of that charm, Said's spirit became dark. I caused everything. I caused my own brother's death. Mama, Baba, forgive me." The room went completely silent. Then, Baba slowly stood up, his eyes full of tears and disbelief. "Hajara, is this true?" he asked quietly. Hajara was sweating. She looked from her father to her mother, then to Malika.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I swear it was an accident."
Mama screamed and slapped her hands together. "Hajara, how could you? You took your sister to a witch doctor. You brought evil into this family. You destroyed us." Baba sank to the floor and began to cry. A strong man brought down by pain. My children, what have you done?" At that moment, a strange wind blew through the open window. Malika suddenly held her head and screamed, "Ah, my head, my head!" Hajara started screaming too, her voice echoing through the house. Their eyes turned wild and they began laughing and crying at the same time. "Mama, Baba, help me! Something is moving in my head!" Malika shouted before collapsing. Mama and Baba rushed to them, confused and terrified. But the girls were gone, lost in madness. The parents cried and cried, but it was too late. The witch doctor had warned them long ago. The day the secret is revealed, the curse will break, but the price will be your sanity. And now, the curse had done its work. Zaid, meanwhile, was in prison. He sat in silence most days, staring at the wall, trying to remember the night everything went wrong. The truth had come too late. He was possessed under the influence of the charm when he committed the murders. When the truth was finally revealed, the judge took pity on him.
You were not in your right mind, the judge said softly, but a life was still lost. Zaid was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He accepted it calmly, tears in his eyes. At least now I know the truth. May Allah forgive us all. Back home, Baba and Mama lived in sorrow, caring for their 2 mad daughters. Some nights, they could still hear Malika and Hajara laughing and crying at the same time, wandering around the compound, calling for their brother they destroyed. Moral lesson. Malika thought she was saving her marriage, but in the end, she lost everything: her husband, her sanity, and even her brother. Hajara, who led her sister astray, paid the price too. Let this be a warning. Jealousy and greed can destroy your life, and visiting native doctors or using charms to control someone's heart will only bring pain, sorrow, and regret. True love cannot be forced. It must be earned with honesty, trust, and patience.